Welcome back. Alex, what are we doing tonight?
Talking about a film, Zach. Some would say that's an arguable term.
Yeah, back in the year 3000, a film was made, and they sent it back in time to the year 2004. We're digging it back up and sending it right the f back. We're talking about Dracula 3000, directed by Daryl Rude. It's some German name. He should have just not bothered. This might be one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Definitely worse than Sharknado.
Dude, this might have replaced my Top Shittiest movie, and like now this is like the party movie to watch from here on out. This movie. Let's start with the synopsis. Let's talk about the plot.
Sure.
If you look up Dracula 3000 on IMDb, you're gonna find Dracula terrorizes crew of space station. That's right, it is Dracula in space. Back in the 2000s, they wanted to put everything in space. You had Jason in space, you had Hellraiser in space, now you get Dracula in space. They didn't, you know what? I don't know what the drawing board of this must have been like, but they're like, you know what? You know what's never been done? Let's put Dracula in space.
And not just like, I know what people are probably thinking, oh, it's future Dracula.
Yeah, it's gonna be like some cool like
robotic Dracula. That, I thought just maybe, but boy, you were wrong.
It is the straight up Count Dracula from the 1940s.
The flowing cape and the big collar, the whole.
And he looks like such a goober. Like he's like a chunky Dracula, you know. It's so good. Well, let's talk about some of the characters in this movie. We've gently brushed Dracula, but. There's what's his name? Van Dyne, the Rico from Starship Troopers is in this movie, playing Van Helsing. That's right. In the year 3000, that lineage survived all the way.
Dracula's not the only person coming back for.
Oh my God! We've got Tiny Lister in this movie, who has 75% of the dialogue, playing.
Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing.
Playing Humvee/Hummer. That's right. They couldn't decide on what they wanted his name to be. It's just some call him Hummer, some call him Humvee. They couldn't figure it out.
They're both winners in my book, really.
Oh, Coolio is in this movie. Coolio. Yeah, if you want to know whatever happened to Coolio, well, he starred in this movie and ended his career.
Comptonian we got in.
Comptonian, asshole.
Yeah. You remember that, bro? We were high for days, swimming in Comptonian ass, boning so many hoes. My nuts were swole for a week.
Time has not been good to him.
Who else do we have? Nobody really that matters.
Girl 1.
Girl 2.
Wheelchair guy 1.
Oh yeah, there's a wheelchair guy in this movie. You know what? I think that's perfect timing to talk about. We're in the year 3000, okay? We're 1,000 years in the future. Technology has not advanced to the point where a person who is crippled still needs a wheelchair to get around. They're using 9mm Berettas, like stuff that's in the 90s. The ship clearly, the set design of this movie is clearly in just a warehouse. At one point, they point, they're like, yes, there's the mainframe, and it's just like a double doors next to a toilet. You know, it's just pure trash. It's just pure trash. What's your favorite scene of this movie?
My favorite scene of the movie? Oh,
if you could call it that.
Oh,
yes.
well, boy, really? I think my favorite scene is when they mortally wound Dracula and he sits on the ship screaming. Well, Zach, I have a question for you. As a filmmaker yourself, you tell me, give me your film look at the camera angles here in the shot and the camera movements. Very interesting experimentation going on, right?
I don't condone snorting coke before operating a camera. That is the best tip I can give for the people who made this movie. And for anyone out there, don't Don't do drugs right before you hit that record button. It is not a good look.
Film Faction unapproved.
They constantly are just running around with the camera, flinging it everywhere. Everything has motion blur. It's that cheesy 2000s effect.
I got sick watching it.
Yeah, if you have motion sickness, don't watch this movie. Not a good movie to watch with that. Debilitating. Don't know where I was going with that.
What was your favorite scene in this movie, Zach?
I don't know. I think the most I laughed was at the Dracula part at the end, but to me, just every time they did the shitty zoom in, like they had a zoom lens this whole time, and just it zoomed into everything. Even when they were talking, it just zoomed into their eyes.
What about the scene? I forget what character it was. They were zoomed in, and then they zoomed out really fast.
Well, there was a part where the professor, the guy in the wheelchair, was just chilling there. He's like, "We're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die," and it's a quick focus the camera to what's behind him, and his tiny listener just going, "Would you shut up?" and then they go back focus. Yeah. That was great.
What about the beautiful exposition of this film?
Dude, the way this movie starts off, okay, usually for like a horror movie you get, people sitting around a fire kind of introducing themselves. You get like a little taste of everybody's personality or something like that. Even on a spaceship, in Aliens, when they're sitting around or an alien, when they're sitting around the table, like all talking, you kind of get a feel for all their characters. Well, in this movie, the main character, Van Helsing, has a 5-minute long scene where he just exposition over special effects, talks about every character in detail, down to their personality traits and how they look. And that's how we're introduced to every character. They don't say hi, they don't interact with each other, that's it. I mean, if the captain says so, that's what they are.
In the year 3000, we don't show, we tell, we don't show.
Dude, and okay, wait, we need to talk about the vampires in this movie. They aren't vampires. Well, they are vampires, but they are alien vampires from the planet Transylvania.
It hurts hearing it the second time.
Transylvania is a planet in the remote Carpathian system. It's a planet of vampires.
Vampires? So what the hell is a vampire?
I mean, I don't know what more we can say about how much of an abomination this movie is. It's quite disturbing, honestly. But I think Tobias might have a lot to say about this movie.
I'm sure Tobias will be able to pick this thing apart.
I feel like he'll rip this thing the new asshole it deserves.
Rip, for sure. But definitely the ending of the movie, right? He'll definitely rip that apart, right? Remember when what happened?
Oh yeah, doesn't it end on an explosion?
Why, hello there. This beautiful evening tonight we will be reviewing Dracula 3000, of course, the masterpiece. I am Tobias J. Furtado, and this happens to be one of my favorite movies, I will say. The movie begins, of course, with the star Johnny Rico of Rico's Roughnecks. He is a captain of a starship. They happen upon another starship that happens to be infected with Draculas. Vampires. Many of them. Possibly one of them. I saw parts of the movie. But the main plot point of the movie I would like to address, it's a normal Dracula movie. They got Van Helsing, that's Johnny Rico, of course, of Rico's Roughnecks. The masterpiece of this movie is the twist. The twist at the end, the BattleBot. There is an android character, robot of sorts, that she was not always a BattleBot. She was a sex bot. The whole movie, you believe this is just some sort of BattleBot. It has turned for him. She is there She is
From
beautiful,
worse to
and she is
beautiful.
fierce. Well, he will ride out
She
the rest
happens
of
to
his
be
life.
at the very
With this
end,
sex
she is
bot
about to sacrifice
prostitute.
herself.
Proteus
And
3.2
that's
PB.
Debo Lister. The ship blows up
Pleasure
at the end
bot.
of the movie.
Pleasure
It's
bot.
beautiful. May or may not have gotten a 20-30% on Rotten Tomatoes, maybe less, I don't know. My review is what matters. I have the masters in pathology here, but, you know, that's just me. We'll give this one a 3 out of 4. And that's it for the movie. Thank you. Tonight, beautiful evening here in South Alabama. And till next time. Go fish.